Hey, how's it going? My name is jackiefishhh and welcome back to the open beta of Total War Arena. My god, it feels so good to finally be able to say that, as I've been waiting for open beta for a long time. So that does mean that you guys can go ahead and download this game right now for free. No, you don't have to pay or anything. You can just go down to the link in the description and check out the game, download it and get onto the battlefield. And I highly recommend you do, because Total War Arena is an awesome game. I felt like what I would do in this video is kind of just almost do like a beginner's guide, but a very rough one, where I just kind of play the game. Obviously, as you can see, I've only just loaded up the open beta, and just run through things for new players who might be finding the game and don't really know what to do or what faction to go down or anything like that. So when you first load up the game, you'll be given, I believe, a tutorial mission to do, and once you complete that, it should bring you to this screen right here, where you get to pick the first commander you can unlock. Now, don't worry, if you pick, for example, Germanicus, you'll still be able to unlock Kanani and Arminius and all the other commanders that Total War Arena has to offer, but it'll just take you a little bit while to unlock. So basically, this is like your first free commander you can mess around with. Germanicus is very much that hard-hitting infantry dude, and Rome in general have a very, very strong line of infantry and cavalry, where they very much go into battle and just stay in battle for a long time, slowly but surely cutting down their opponents. I mean, Germanicus himself can do a ton of damage whilst also being very, very tanky. So if you're looking for more of a sturdier faction to mess around with units, the Roman Empire is definitely the one to go down. Greece and Kanani. Kanani is obviously an archer general. She provides you with 3 archers to begin the, the slaughtering with on your online play. And Greece is very much kind of the defensive faction. They have good long-range archers. They have very, very sturdy hoplites, again, which will kind of just push back and keep the enemy at bay for some time with their hoplites. So if you're kind of looking for more of a defensive hoplite faction, Kanani is a great general to go down at the beginning, because you can play her, you know, even though she is an archer general. You can very, very much play her with hoplites and other units. And again, a lot of the other generals don't take too long to unlock anyway. Then finally, we have Arminius and the Barbarians. The Barbarians are very much your quick-moving units. Units that can get around the battlefield very easily. They get brilliant bonuses in the woods. As Barbarians, you normally always want to be fighting in the woods, as you get bonuses to your melee attack and defense. And you just are very much your scouting force. Scouting is very important in Total Arena. So if you want to be fast, if you want to do some deadly like flanking assaults, Arminius is the guy to go down. I'm going to select Germanicus just because I'm more of a Roman guy more than anything else. And here we go. You can see that I've gone ahead and got 300,000 free XP, which is very tasty indeed. I got this from the closed beta, and I think winning over 600 games. I was so close to 800, it just wasn't the case. So in Total War Arena, you have 2 types of experience. You have unit experience, which you can see right here, which you gain by just using that unit in battle. And whatever that unit does in battle, you'll go ahead and gain points to kind of allocate to that. And that will go to your unit experience. This unit experience cannot be spent on any other units and is simply just tied to this unit individually. And then you have your free XP, or your general XP, I think it was originally called. You can use this to unlock anything else. So I can spend this experience on any of my units I want to. I'm buying new commanders and upgrading new commanders. I can basically spend this on anything. However, unit experience is tied to the unit you gain it on. You gain unit experience and free experience by playing battles. You obviously gain a lot more unit experience and not as much commander experience, obviously, to make you actually, there's actually a reason why you do commit to playing a individual unit. So as you can see, I have a ton of gold as well from the free thing. So I think I want to mess around with Carthage to begin with. We have Hannibal and we have Hasdrubal, how you pronounce that, his brother. But I think I'm just going to straight up just go ahead and unlock Hannibal with my free experience. And just mess around with him, because obviously Carthage is new. I love the background as well. So Carthage, for anyone interested, is very much a hybrid from what I understand. I haven't personally spent a lot of time with them. I do have actually some high tier gameplay for you guys at some point in the future. But yeah, we're 100% going to have to go ahead and mess these guys up. You can see right now I'm spending my commander XP, my free XP to upgrade these guys, just because I want to make them at least somewhat decent to begin this before jumping in. So Hannibal has forced march, meaning his units are a little bit faster. And I think we can actually probably take a look as well at the roster for Carthage. if we go to, what is it, on the tech trees? Yeah, right here. So you can see Carthage's roster. It's not huge at the moment, but you get access to hoplites. You get access to some pretty good infantry as well, like Iberian mercenaries. Pretty much all their sword infantry are like from the, you know, Spanish tribes. You also obviously get access to elephants, which you guys make sure to stick around on the channel for. We'll be doing some awesome stuff. You get some skirmishers at high rank and some decent cavalry. A lot of this being Numidian cavalry. So it's not going to be sturdy cavalry, but it's going to be good skirmisher one. And they have a few different premium units as well. So yeah, basically, as I said at the beginning, this is a 10 vs 10 battle, I guess, game mode, where you do dive in with 3 individual units. All of these units do have their own abilities and stuff like this you'll be able to unlock as you go further on into the ranks. So at the moment we're at tier 1. There are 10 tiers in the open, or there are 10 tiers you can go up to get the most elite units, obviously being at tier 10. And as you do level up, you get access to a ton more abilities. Like, for example, at the moment, we're just using some basic tier 1, you know, what are these, like Punic levies or something for Carthage. You know, by the time we get up to Sacred Band, which are like tier 9, tier 10, the unit itself will have loads of different abilities, and the commander will have loads of different abilities. So as you level up, I believe level 1, you get access to his first ability. Level 3, you get access to his third ability, and level 5 you get access to kind of like an ultimate ability for the commander itself, which I'll be able to show you kind of a bit more in detail as we do dive in. This is our first game in the open beta, and we are the only one playing Hannibal. I'm excited to check this out. So I should also mention as well that you both have to level up your commander and your units. So your commander levels up, gets his like XP just as much as your units do. So as your commander levels up, so you have to have a level 2 commander to use level 2 units. And for example, you have to have a level 5 commander to use tier 5 units. So you can't just pump all this free XP into units without having a good enough commander to use them. Which is a mechanic I really like, because it makes it kind of feel like you can't just buy your way to the top. You actually have to play the game, which is one of the things I love about Total War Arena. You know, you can't just buy your way at a tier 10 unit and jump into battle. You actually have to play, because you have to get a commander to tier 10 before using any tier 10 units, which I always thought was pretty awesome. So let's stick away from the woods. We'll go over to this other left-hand side. We've got some swordsmen we've got some nice swordsmen right there. Which are going to be led by Germanicus. That'll be good, and we'll just push on. So our objective is to go ahead and secure the enemy base or kill all of their units. You know, both are pretty easy, and you can kind of see everyone else picking their position. There should normally be one position left open. And now it's time to dive back in and jump in. So here we go. We'll go ahead and form up. I'm just going to push up to here. Our tier 1 units can't change formation or anything. However, when you get to, I think, tier 3 or 4, you can actually spread out your units a bit more. But I'll go ahead and go over that in another video, as we are just messing around with tier 1s. We also should have Hannibal in this front unit right here. You can see Hannibal leading the spearmen right there as well. Very cool. So as this is a 10v10, you can definitely understand that things can get really hectic really quickly if you're not careful. You can easily be overwhelmed by 4 or 5 players if you're not playing too smart, and you have to be very careful. One of the things I would highly recommend anyone playing this game is, if you feel like you're outnumbered or you're outmatched, there is no shame in just simply retreating. Retreating is very much a viable option in this game. Even if you end up losing a couple soldiers, it is all completely worth it. So here you can see that we have an access to a couple abilities. We only have access to Forced March at the moment. This is going to be our first commander ability. Like I said earlier, you only get access to a set amount of abilities. If I want to unlock Hannibal's next ability, I have to go ahead and level him up to level 3, and then I'll get access to this one. So at the moment we only have Forced March. This gives us more movement range, however makes us worse in combat. So we only really ever want to do this as we push on. We have our Roman player right here throwing some nice little artillery shots off there. Again, I'm not really too fast. I'm playing hoplites as well, who are very different. Hoplites provide you with a kind of like a Carthaginian phalanx, this one is called, which goes ahead and gives us some really good charge debuff. What is this guy doing? Yeah, let's get up here. He's going to try and run in here. So flanking is really important in this game. The white bar right here is morale, and you can break entire units by simply just, we're going to retreat back here, by simply just outflanking them, and you can see their morale's already dropping. We maybe need to go in a little bit more to do some more damage to that. which we'll try and do. Oh, you can change formation. So by pressing Alt and right-clicking, you can change the length of the unit, which can be really, really effective. Okay, so we've got some guys coming around here. As I said, we want to be very, very careful here because they have more men. I'm going to try and quickly break this unit of horses by outflanking them. You can see a right flank appearing. And then I'm going to form Testudo right here. Forming Testudo should give me a really nice defense. However, I have this fatigue bar right there. The fatigue bar will go up whenever I am engaged. Nice, we slaughtered them horses and we barely took any damage. We have to be very careful with our phalanx though, because the phalanx is actually, you can cause a lot of friendly fire with that. And the Roman is just going to be pelting at the enemy. I should definitely be checking on the map a lot more. However, I'm just trying to kind of get across everything. So again, you can see right here, you never want to try and do this. You always want to try and spread your units out, because most of the time you only ever really need to commit one unit to get something done. So we're going to form phalanx. This is going to be like a really strong pike wall, and then we're simply going to push forward. And as you can see, as we get more and more engaged in this combat, our fatigue bar is going to be going up. And I can go ahead and reduce this fatigue bar by just right-clicking back. I'll shuffle back, and you can see it does go down. Okay, that's friendly cavalry. What the hell is it doing? Don't know why that friendly cavalry came in there. That's not a great idea. It just means I have to get our phalanx, which is kind of annoying. So we'll use the Alt key. We'll make our formation really, really tight and just try and sneak past here so we can continue to outflank these guys. Once this friendly unit of Carthaginian hoplites has managed to make their way forward, I'll go back onto phalanx mode and start pouring in. Because phalanx mode means you do a lot more damage. You kind of very much like this brick wall of just, power pushing down the enemy. So again, I'll just form phalanx again. I might lose a few casualties here forming it. However, it should be absolutely fine. You guys can form up, go a little bit denser like that. And you can see these guys are just pouring in. I'm like a brick wall with spikes on right now, doing so much damage. Again, there's probably no point me being in it, to be honest. So we're just going to form out, and we're just going to clash these guys. We should outflank them. You can see their energy starting to go. And when they do rout, they go ahead and they're pretty much free kills. I can just kill out this entire unit, and I'll take no damage because they're not fighting back. One of the things I highly recommend you always do whenever you go into combat is to make sure you always click on each of the units you're fighting. Because sometimes in arena, your flanking bonus might not apply. So just always make sure you always right click on the units you want to attack when you're going into combat. Because you can see more right flanks are being applied and stuff, which is great. As Carthage, I ideally don't want to be just fighting in this crazy formation. I want to be in a phalanx or something. But because we are, dominating the field, that's fine. So I'm going to use Hannibal's first ability, Forced March. Again, it makes us a lot weaker. However, it makes us a lot faster. So we want to be using that as effectively as possible. So again, because I right-clicked on it, I should be applying the flank. Or did they form up somewhere? I guess they've managed to get their way forward. But we're doing lots of damage to them. A bit of friendly fire on the go, but nothing too mad. So they've gone ahead and defended their base. Something you never normally want to do is defend your base like that. It can be a really good tactic if your entire team is doing it, and we're just going to leave these guys to fight off. I'm sure the Romans can take care of them. We'll go on Forced March as well. You can see the nice little Forced March bonus right there. Why did you not get in Forced March? How weird. But yeah, so most of the time you don't want to be just defending your base, because at the moment they have four players here. So it was basically a 6v10, as we had 10 players all attacking, and they had 6 players attacking and 4 players defending. That's a huge advantage for us, where we can just use our numbers to surround the enemy, get rid of their morale, and continue to push on. We'll continue to push up here. Cool. And obviously we'll force march this unit. For some reason doesn't seem to be force marching. Yeah, just keep on coming round here. Perfect. Hopefully we can hit these archers. I'm going to send one unit right round the flank to block off their retreat and then just move round. Because your archers are fairly quickly, but we should be fine. We're also going to go in quite a dense formation up here as well. Ideally away from the river crossing. And just come around and finish up this battle. It's looking pretty good for us as more and more of the fighting does continue. Our Romans are retreating back. A lot of the time as well, there's no rush in this game mode either. You never have to just completely sprint your way to the finish. It's always better to be with your team. As I said, this is a 10v10 game mode, so you always need to make sure your team is around you. Because you guys saw how deadly just routing someone can be, and as soon as they lose that morale bar, they're just easy pickings. So if you can use your teammates, outnumber the enemy, and then just completely outflank them, you're going to be in a great situation. So as I said, there are multiple ways of winning. One is by capturing the base. The other way is just by eliminating the enemy force. You can see right here, an entire unit has lost their morale because they've been outflanked and they've had their commander killed in battle. So because of that, they're going to be getting absolutely ruined right now. I'm actually going to avoid this because I don't want my men to die in friendly fire. And we're simply just going to sit in the base. Now, you can see right here, we're slowly capturing the enemy base right here. You can see the point going up. And when this bar fills up, we go ahead and win the day. We'll go out. We'll get out of forced march right here because we don't want to be in it. You can see right there, friendly fire coming in. Friendly fire is a big issue. So if you didn't know, I guess it's something really good I should tell you guys. Friendly fire is a big issue in this game. Sometimes it is okay to shoot into friendly units because you might be killing more of the enemies. However, if you do shoot into friendly units, they're going to be taking damage as well. So it's always good to weigh up the situation. And if you feel like you're going to be losing a battle, sometimes it is really good to shoot in because you'll be taking out more of the enemy whilst also not really doing much damage to your own units. But always pay attention to how many people. Like shooting this would be awful right now because there's like 4 dudes, 8 dudes here against our entire army. So we'd be doing so much more damage to our own units right there. So just by sitting in this circle, we're going to slowly be capping them. And you can see we've just won there through base capture. And one of the ways you can decap is all you have to do to get that percentage bar right down is simply go ahead and just do 1 bit of damage to the unit capturing. And if it does any damage to that unit, they'll lose all of their capture points. So that's a really good way to decap the enemy. So defending your base is like a really important thing. However, just sitting in your base is never something I would recommend. So there we go, we've gone ahead and leveled up. I like all of his differences. So you can see right here, the commander is currently leveling up. So as soon as Hannibal is at level 2, I can then go ahead and unlock level 2 units. You can also see I'll go back on the victory screen. So here you can see I've got 271 free experience, which will go to my pull up here. And then I also have 693 unit experience. Did I say that right? So yeah, this is commander experience, which I can spend on anything. And then this experience I can only spend on these units. I can use my gold to convert this and make it so that I can convert it into free experience. But that's not really that important right now. So you can see I can spend all of this experience on upgrading my units. At the moment, I just bought them with free experience, so it's not really a big deal. But I need 1,000 unit experience to unlock the next commander, or unlock the next unit. However, I can't use that unit until I upgrade Hannibal to level 2. So just for the sake of it, I'll spend some of my free experience, level up Hannibal a little bit. We won't get determined. Maybe I'll just go up to level 3. Yeah, for the purpose of this video, I just want to go up to level 3 to show you guys his next ability. So because I have now hit level 3, I've unlocked Determination. So my units fight harder. If we can actually look at it. So basically, they fight better in negative ground. So for example, if I'm heavy infantry in the forest, these guys will fight better. And I also get a bonus to melee, defense, and attack, which is always very, very nice. So we'll go ahead. We can also, because our commander is level 3, we can spend some of our unit experience and also our free experience just to level these guys up. So we'll have, tier 2s now. So we also have some mercenary spears, which is always nice. We'll go ahead and just build these guys up. But I'm probably just going to skip these guys out, if I'm honest, and go straight up to tier 3. Yeah, screw it. So you won't be able to do this if you didn't play in the closed beta, because I've got all this free experience. And we'll just unlock tier 3s straight away, so I can show you guys the ability. So we'll go up to tier 3. We'll just add these to our squad. 1, 2, 3. No, we want to go up to tier 3, please. Thank you, and thank you. So tier 3, you'll start seeing a few more abilities popping up down here. These guys don't actually have any right now, but they definitely do get a bit better. We'll upgrade our body armor just a little bit, and then probably these spears. The nice thing is about these tech trees as well is they do start to curve off. So at tier 3, I can choose whether I want to go down the sword infantry route of Carthage or go down the spear route. And again, all of these do offer different abilities. For example, if I want to go down here, I can maybe unlock elephants. This is obviously more of a heavy infantry. And sometimes these do split. Obviously, if I go down the hoplites, I can get some cavalry for Carthage. All really, really interesting stuff. So let's go ahead and just buy this. That'll probably be the last thing I spend on Carthage free XP wise. We'll just get the spear because it allows us to do a bunch more damage. You also get consumables at tier 3. Consumables are really useful because they give you small bonuses for a bit of silver. So if you're struggling for silver, I recommend not getting these because it does kind of sink silver pretty heavily. However, if you have plenty of silver, this is a great way to get more. So if we look at them, we get armor penetration, morale, body armor, morale. Impact damage is nice, but we don't really have a charge. Melee attack and melee defense. Let's go ahead and pick the morale, because if you can go ahead and keep your units alive and not broken, it's always really useful. So we're going into a bit more of a high tier game now. Tier 3, obviously the game Because I feel like the game gets so different around tier 5 to 6. When people start understanding it, the game kind of evolves from being a absolute mess of just everyone running into one another to being a lot more interesting, where you have, you know, tactics finally starting to be formed, people using their units really, really effectively. And it just becomes a lot more interesting as you do really get to start feeling. I mean, I've played since, you know, closed beta on Steam, which was like 3 years ago. And to be playing like the top tier matches, like at tier 10, you really, really get to see some crazy gameplay going on. You know, at the lower tiers, cavalry is super strong because everyone is, you know, just not really too sensible with their archers at protecting their archers. However, when you start to hear the tier, you know, the tier 6s and the tier 7s, people very much, you know, try and protect their archers, meaning that cavalry has a completely different role in that, you know, that tier. Than before, it was just kind of a roaming force to kill people. But when you hit like tier 6 and 7, it becomes very, very hard to do that. This is a really, really important tip right here as well. Blobbing is not a good idea. Always try and make your units as spread out as possible unless you have a sensible idea of what to do. Blobbing units means you're a really good target for enemy archers and a really good target for enemy cavalry. It also means you can get outflanked really effectively, because if you're just one blob, you have 4 flanks and that's about it. Whereas if you're like a long unit of 3 units, you have what, like, you know, so many more flanks to the enemy having to try, and you can also protect your flanks a lot better. So always try and spread out your units whenever you can, unless you know there's something you really have to do where blobbing is effective. Because blobbing can be effective sometimes, but always, you know, if you're ever like picking up this game for the first time, I highly recommend you you try your best to mess around. Actually, I want to go back down here again with my tier 3 forces. I really hope as well matchmaking has kind of got a nice little kick up the bot in this battle, because I found out a lot of the time that in the closed beta there just wasn't enough players at higher tiers. So I'm hoping with open beta coming up now, and there's a lot more people obviously playing the game, I'm really looking forward to their, you know, the matchmaking being just 1 or 2 tiers, which I'm sure will be the case. So let's move up. We'll take a look at our first units now. So what are these guys? These are Pinonican warriors. Oh, wow, I butchered that. We can see Hannibal right there looking beautiful as always. Very cool. And our infantry is, you know, a little bit better. I guess a bit more well-trained more than anything else. So hopefully we'll be able to get some stuff done. Obviously getting access to that next ability and consumables as well. You can see it right there. Bout, sacrifice, and determination. It's just a good buff. It has a good cooldown. It lasts for 15 seconds and has a good cooldown of 60 seconds. So it just basically means, you know, negative effects like this forest won't be as effective as it will be, for example, for the Romans. So I can kind of do a little bit more damage there. So let's push up. We've got some nice Germanicus players up here. And Hoplites are very good at countering Germanicus in the early game. Before he gets his tier 5 ability, which for me is what Ad Portus, which gives him some really good buffs. Oh, we actually have like phases to it as well. I haven't actually seen too much about him. So for 60 seconds, you get a bonus to weapon damage. And then for 140 seconds, that kind of goes up, but your discipline is lost. That's really interesting. Great, well, we're going to push up here and try and engage these Roman forces, because I can do a lot of good damage to these guys. So, for example, my hoplite formation will devastate these guys if they try and charge at me. So we want to try and just be very defensive if we can. Form up a test tube, form up our attack, and then just basically just push our way forward. Again, same over here as well. Come on, boys, don't get outflanked. You have to be very careful with your hoplites not to get outflanked. We'll push up this unit as well. More reinforcements coming. I'm going to try and rotate my phalanx a little bit so I don't get too attacked. But you can just see the domination I've done here already. Again, just push this unit back. But you're going to continue to push on me. So it's really good just being super defensive with these hoplites. But you can also be aggressive and push on whenever your fatigue is low. Because look at this, I'm just running through him right now. So you never normally want to be trying to attack hoplites from the front. You always want to be trying to look to go around them. Nice, more Romans coming in. I'm actually about to rout here as well. Thankfully, I just about managed to survive that. Let's break this formation right now and push in here, try and help out. These guys need to push back a little bit, so let's again do that. We have one unit just guarding our back a little bit. So you guys are going to push in. You guys are going to get all your fatigue back. And then push in again. I mean, if they're just going to retreat, I'm going to use this to my advantage. Oh, no, I broke my formation. No, no, no. Okay, let's pop our determination, then our tier 3 ability. And we should just be able to kill these guys. Do I still have fatigue with that sword? I mean, I don't know. I guess we should pop fatigue there as well. Okay, let's try and make our unit thin again by using ult. And try and get around our flanks. As you guys know, as I've been saying, flanking is so goddamn important. And you can also see right here by these lines, I'm actually also giving my units a bonus So by simply having my unit protecting this flank, I also get a really nice bonus to my own morale, which, you know, can maybe negate a few of the enemy effects. So let's just pour these guys in. You can see right there, left flanking and right flanking because I didn't click on the unit. So always make sure you click on the multiple units. Because again, right there, right and left flank. I wasn't applying the flank because maybe I was focusing on another unit. Oh, I just formed phalanx here again. But looks like, look at this, like we completely slaughtered these guys. And routed them, an easy kill right there. Rest of the battlefield is going on pretty decently right there. Lots of different abilities. And you can just say, like, if this is the first time ever watching this game, you can really tell how crazy this gameplay can get. With all these different commanders, everyone using different abilities. Obviously, everyone and all the units having their own different abilities as well. The game can get really hectic. Really, really hectic. Well, this has a really short cooldown. What's the cooldown on it? 60 seconds, but it starts immediately. So it's really only 45 seconds. That's pretty nice. Again, they're defending their base, like, super heavily. Scipio. Yes, you are mine. Wait, am I playing against the AI? No, I'm not. Yeah, I am. I'm playing against the AI. That's hilarious. I can't believe I didn't realize I was playing against the AI. Well, we're just going to continue playing this. I completely forgot. So this is an easy way to do it. I should definitely make sure I should change this. For a second, I was like, why are they defending their base again? Before I realized I was actually playing against the AI. So the AI is a good way just to hone your skill. However, the AI will very much tend to do the same thing every single time, which is a bit of a shame. But I feel like for this video, it's perfectly fine. Just go ahead and press F or force march our way over here. Again, making us very vulnerable to them attacking us. However, you know, we will make our way across the Alps. That's hilarious, though. I completely did not realize. I've done this before as well when I started a new account just for fun. I did not realize I was playing against the AI. However, you know, this is all fun nonetheless. So let's make our way around. Hopefully this has been a good, you know, way of like teaching for you guys. So as you can see, I've got normal people playing with me, which is one of the reasons I didn't realize. But we are, you know, you can see by their names, we are playing, you know, AI players. But my team is, you know, normal. So just, I guess, a good way to tone up. So we have some tier 2 hoplites right there as we push in. We'll go around the flank as well. The enemy base will soon be ours. Take off force march on both our units because obviously, as we know, it does give us debuffs. You need to be careful here because I don't want to take too much friendly fire here, but I also want to get involved in this fight. There you go, nice. He left his phalanx, which is perfect. We can push him there. Make sure we pop our ability right there to give us better, you know, bonuses. Indeed, more melee defense and attack. We can push in, and we just need to start applying all of these flanks right there and maybe done for. Again, let's make our way around there. You guys should be around there. You guys still got your force march on as well, which is good. Yeah, just pour in, my dude. Just pour in. We should be able to apply so many flanks. Make sure we pop that bonus whenever we can. You're coming in right here. Oh, nice. They completely outflanked this unit. That is perfect. I guess we'll make our way over there, making our unit thinner so we don't need to get involved. We'll go ahead and drop our force march, and then we'll just pile around here. Make sure we finish off this unit, because this is, at the moment, tying up a lot of our units. You can see right now, we're being, like, what, 3 units tied up, whereas they've only got 1 tied up. So sometimes it's always good to sacrifice your unit as well. Come on. Yes, nice. We routed them. Let's push on then. Give them no quarter whatsoever. Always making sure you, like, double click on these units to make sure that their flanks are applied. Again, making sure we always have that done, because this is always, you want to make sure this is constantly on whenever you're in combat. There's not really a downside to it whatsoever. Right flank. Make sure we constantly have them applied. Nice. We're going to rout this unit. Oh, they're just holding on by 2% because they have that shared rations, I imagine. Well, I've got some more men coming in. Let's go and try and form up here and, I guess, try and get them. We'll form a nice little phalanx mode right there. Pour into the enemy. And you can see they just bounce off our formation because they're just not equipped to deal with it. However, if we get our fatigue bar over the kind of percentage, they will start finding gaps in our formation. So you always want to make sure that you never go over that percentage, because if you do, your line will very, very quickly break if you're not careful. So you always want to just take that couple steps back and then push back in. Take them a couple steps back, push back in. Because, yeah, you can see, once we go over 70%, they'll start finding their way in through my phalanx formation and then really start to take advantage of that. We're not really doing too much damage here because we just can't. We very much do our damage through phalanx. And we just obviously can't really beat the Romans in sword-to-sword combat. But it's still a fun battle. So So do let me know what you guys want to see. Do you want to see elephant gameplay? Do you want to just see me playing and leveling up my Romans? Just let me know what you guys are interested in the comments down below. If you're new to this game, I highly recommend you playing it. It's completely free and definitely worth it. But do just keep in mind that the lower tiers are very scrappy, much like any game. Also, like I would heavily say this game isn't pay to win, at least at this point, you know, when the open beta has just come out. The game has, I'm not going to run through it all now, but the game has some very, very cool systems to avoid it being free to play. For example, you can't just get a tier 10 unit ever. You have to make sure that you level up your commander first to unlock tier 10 units, which takes a while. So you're not going to ever get that kind of completely new player arriving at tier 10. You have to play the game to unlock good units and stuff. So I really like that. Definitely, even like it's not even really paid to be convenience, because a lot of the time you need to actually play a decent amount of time to even use your pay to win currency, or your gold, which is what you pay to even like use it effectively. You know, because you use it, for example, to, if I wanted to convert all of this experience to maybe spend it on a different unit. So that's not even free, you know. I have to still play the game more than anything else. So nice, another victory. I mean, we are playing against the AI, so always make sure you change this to play against humans. I completely forgot there. I assumed it wouldn't have done that. But you know, if you're new to the game, playing against the AI is a great way just to simply understand it and kind of get the hang of it. So there we go. That's going to be my first little look at the starting of the open beta for Total War Arena. Hopefully I gave you guys some good information. If there's any new players out there, the link will be in the description. Make sure to go check it out. Hannibal as well is very, very chill. Definitely going to be messing around with him more. And again, if you're also looking forward to more of this game, do bear in mind they have said that they're planning on adding in Japan at some point down the road. So I imagine probably when closed beta comes to an end, I imagine Japan is going to come into the game, and then that leaves us so many options for like Vikings and knights and stuff. And this could be like go full like Deadliest Warriors type of thing, where you do have the ancient world versus China versus medieval knights, and just really come together and have a crazy ass battle. Which I imagine would just be so much fun. It really would, having all these different factions piling themselves into the game. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Hopefully you guys found this useful. I will be sure to see you guys in the next one, and fish out.